year ago, a coalition of 3 powerful brothers arrived from Kruger. They claimed a territory and joined 3 lionesses looking for a land of their own. They formed a new coalition, the Timbavati Pride. The first generation of cubs is now 1 month old. And they are filled with the curiosity of any young cat. They innocently depend on the comfort and protection of their mother. Every young lion cub's life begins like this, in the nurturing embrace of a loving pride. But not all of them will make it to adulthood. In the neighboring territory, the youngsters of the Shibeli Pride are 2 years old. They're at an awkward age. Big enough to eat like an adult, but not old enough to be of any help in a hunt. They come from an old family of the area. Their father was a legend, a powerful male that ruled for 10 years. But he died of old age, leaving behind 2 lionesses with a handful of hungry cubs. Overnight, their lives took a turn for the worse. Avoiding large males that would certainly kill them. A warthog is too small to feed the whole pride. They have to go for larger prey. Day and night, the lionesses search for food. The enthusiastic cubs follow them. Their inexperience causes failure, time and time again. Without regular meals, the youngsters' growth is stunted, their weakened bodies susceptible to illness. But their greatest threat is starvation, the #1 killer of lion cubs. Their mothers don't give up. They shadow the large herds of buffaloes that enter their territory. The herbivores' strength lies in their numbers. They too are group animals. Hundreds of animals from different families join forces to present a formidable front against predators. They work together, with sentries bringing up the flanks and the adults surrounding the calves. But sometimes this is not enough, and one is left behind. This crippled calf cannot keep up with the herd. His mother had to abandon him. Alone, he wanders aimlessly over the Timbavati. Drinking quenches his thirst, but it won't be enough to keep him alive. Weak and on his own, he is extremely vulnerable. One of the rockfig mothers found the buffalo calf. He cannot run away from her and puts up a courageous fight. But the hyena is resilient and determined. Only the arrival of a lion will make her give up her place here. The hyena's strongest assets are her powerful jaws and teeth. Relentlessly, she uses these to harass the buffalo calf. Hour after hour, she pursues him, weakening the calf to exhaustion. Every bite she takes deepens the wound on his leg. But he doesn't give up. Adrenaline keeps the calf standing and fighting. After several hours of relentless torment, the hyena leaves. She needs to change strategy. The calf is too big for her to take down. She needs to call reinforcements. The calf is alone again. He has no more strength to move. Oxpeckers try to clean the deep wound. He is weak, exhausted, and in pain. A wound like this will never heal. He lies defeated. Through the night, the hyenas feast on their kill. By morning, there is hardly anything left of the crippled buffalo calf. They eat everything, from the meat to the skin and bones. After such a big meal, they will sleep for the rest of the day. The adults of the wild dog pack killed their own meal at dawn and ate it quickly. They don't carry any meat back to the pups. It would be too heavy and cumbersome for the 27-kilogram dog. They feed the pups by regurgitating some of the meat they ate at the kill site. It is the most efficient way of feeding the youngsters and the adults that remain behind to babysit. From birth, the pups are the most important members of the pack. Everything the adults do revolves around the well-being of the pups. They need to grow quickly so that they too can hunt with the adults. The bigger the pack, the better their success in hunting. Lions do things a little differently. Of course, the cubs are an asset to the pride, but the most important members are the adults, the lions and lionesses, the hunters and protectors. The Timbavati mother spends as much time as possible with her cubs, only leaving them to hunt and feed. For the first 2 months of their lives, she is their only caretaker. During this time, she keeps them isolated, growing them in strength only on her milk. She keeps them well hidden, but this doesn't always work. She has already lost one of the cubs. The cubs' own instincts keep them out of trouble. As soon as they hear an unfamiliar noise, they run for cover. Their mother takes them deep into the thicket lining the dry riverbed. But this time, the animals that arrive are not a threat. The coalition of Timbapati brothers, their fathers. Without even knowing how close they are to the cubs, they do their job as protectors. But sometimes, even a formidable coalition like this one needs to give way. Nothing is more dangerous than a group of elephant mothers with young calves. When they see lions, they chase them away. The lions move, but not far enough for the elephant's liking. The only thing that the lioness and her cubs can do is lie as still as possible and hope that they remain unseen. But the herd don't give up. With the lions a safe distance away, the elephants continue down the dry riverbed. The matriarch takes them to water. She is the oldest female of the herd, and with her sisters and older daughters, they form the backbone of the family. The calves are the heart. The distance they cover to find food and water depends on the strength and stamina of the youngest ones. It's the end of winter, and many water sources have dried up. But the matriarch knows where to find water just below the sand of the dry riverbed. It's a skill that has been passed from mother to daughter through the ages. The youngster will burn this in her memory. But for now, she plays in the cool, wet sand. The elephants leave several holes along the dry riverbeds. Other animals use these to drink as well. Again, the Shebelis are thin and weak. They haven't eaten in several days. Exhausted, the cubs rest as much as they can. But their mothers are always alert. They never let a hunting opportunity pass them by. They stalk carefully, using the dry bush for cover. The warthog walks into the hole to drink. The lionesses choose their positions carefully. The situation cannot be more perfect for an ambush. The warthog cannot see over the edge. The lioness uses the logs for cover. She's only a couple of meters away, but she lets the perfect moment pass by. It's the lion's bad luck. Another possible meal gets away. The lionesses return to the pride. They have no time to rest or play. They need to set up another ambush. They lie in the shade, unseen by any animal walking to the waterhole. As soon as the next target comes to drink, they take their positions again. This time, it's a waterbuck. The lioness uses a termite mound to get as close as possible. The waterbuck cannot see her. Her sister crawls forward in the open. Once again, the situation is a perfect ambush. But the waterbuck spots the lioness running. Her sister doesn't even get the chance to move. The Shebelis go without food for another day. Under normal circumstances, living in a pride is an advantage. But this has not worked out well for the Shebelis. Even with the protection of fathers and mothers, nature is tough on little lion cubs. And there are no exceptions. The Timbavati cubs are 4 months old. They survived the first hurdles of their lives, a time when they are most vulnerable, depending on just their mother. Now they are old enough to be included in family life, and they have the protection of the entire pride. 6 adults, their mother, her 2 sisters, and the 3 Timbavati males. And they make sure they get to know all of them. From now on, they will move with the pride. Hyena cubs are treated differently. The center of family life is the den. And for their first year, the cubs use this to hide and sleep. During this time, they live on their mother's rich milk. They only eat meat when they follow her to a kill. She never takes pieces back to the den to avoid competition between the cubs that are of different size and strength. The cubs live and play together and keep each other entertained. Every family needs a leader. The strongest adult leads the group, makes decisions on when to move, when to rest, when to feed and drink. Elephants and hyenas follow the lead of their matriarch. In a herd, she is the oldest female. In a clan, She inherits her rank from her mother. It's the beginning of summer, and the first rains dampen the bush and the sand. In a couple of days, new shoots will cover the Timbavati. The pups are not experienced enough to hunt yet. They wait for the adults to make a kill and then move in to feed. Now that the pups move with the pack, the adults don't need to take food back to the den. But just in case they didn't get enough, their mother gives them more. Their numbers will strengthen the pack. A wild dog family is a very well-balanced unit. To avoid interbreeding, only the dominant pair mate and give birth to pups. Lions avoid interbreeding by chasing the young males from the pride when they come of age. But this Shibeli male is still too young to be alone. He is lost and too inexperienced to hunt on his own. If he wanders out of his family's territory and into that of the Timbavati pride, the brothers will kill him. But today, he's been given a lucky break. He's found the carcass of a dead elephant. He is the first one there. He drinks the blood, a quick and excellent source of iron and protein. Then he starts on one of the elephant's softest parts, the trunk. It's not the first time he's tasted elephant meat. When he was a year old, the entire pride, including his regal father, feasted on the carcass for 7 days. Now, he eats alone. But not for long. The vultures circling on thermals a kilometer above the reserve easily spot the huge bulk. But it's too late in the day for them to feed, so they roost in nearby trees and wait for the morning. By dawn, a marabou stork finds the party of vultures. Overnight, the rockfig hyena matriarch found the carcass too and chased the Shibeli male away. By the time the vultures wake up, the carcass is ready for them to eat. The hyena is reluctant to give them a chance. But she's alone, and there are hundreds of them. A second hyena arrives. The vultures are not intimidated. The marabou stalks the vultures for any piece of meat. The birds mob the carcass, but the matriarch bullies them away. More vultures arrive. One of the hyenas breaks some ribs from the carcass. She takes them into a pool where she can eat in peace. Eventually, the matriarch has enough of the mobbing vultures. The other hyena abandons the ribs in the water. Finally, the vultures have the entire elephant carcass to themselves. Rain or shine, the wild dogs hunt. They move the carcass to higher ground. Perhaps they know of the deluge that is about to come. The pouring rain energizes the wild dogs. The pups continue to eat, and the adults play. Eventually, it's a game for the entire pack. In just a few minutes, the Timbavati is drenched. The water that does not soak into the ground causes flash floods. The headwater carries with it the debris littering the riverbed, forming a foaming, writhing brown tide. Even though the adults have seen this before, they approach the moving mass with caution. The pups have never seen a flood before, and they are curious. They watch their parents. They taste the foam. As soon as the dogs realize that there is no danger in the water, they plunge in. Then it's all a game again. Most mammals can swim if they need to, but this doesn't mean they all like it. The rains leave behind a spray of green, the beginning of summer. No family enjoys the arrival of the floodwater more than the elephants. They've spent the winter months wallowing in shallow, muddy pools. Now, they can swim and play in fresh and clean water. They are excellent swimmers. Their large bodies are buoyant, and they use their trunk as a snorkel. Young males use this time to play fight. They test their strength against each other. The matriarch decides when the herd's time at the dam is over. She leads them away to feed on the new summer shoots. Summer has not changed the Shibeli's fortune. They are young adults now, 2.5 years old, but they look smaller than their age. Their weakened bodies are susceptible to infections. If they don't die of starvation, they will succumb to a silent killer, feline tuberculosis. Then they will waste away. They are close to death. They move lethargically, following their mothers. Searching, wishing for any scrap of food. One of the males finds a tortoise. He is starving and manages to bite into it. It's a very small meal. His brothers don't even try to take it away from him. A couple of kilograms of meat makes a small snack. But any food, even the smallest biteful, will keep him alive. The Shebelis hardly have the energy to cuddle, but when they do, for a moment, everything seems fine. They gain strength from the affection and reassurance given by their mother. It's this close bond between mother and cubs that makes the pride a strong unit. But overnight, things take a nasty turn for the Shebelis. The morning light shows a casualty. One of the lionesses died in the night, fighting with some rogue males. Her sister is gone too. The youngsters are now on their own. The structure of the pride has fallen apart. This summer, the pack has led a carefree existence. They turn every situation into fun. A rhino walks into the pack. Like a naughty group of children, they surround him. And then lose interest. They're on the move again. The dominant pair are ready to mate. They lead the pack away from the Timbavati and back north to their dennings. It's the beginning of winter, river drop and water string. The hustle of water became perfect mud. Elephants know how to take advantage of every season. The old matriarch learned the benefits of mud many decades ago when she was a youngster, following her mother's lead. Now, her calf is enjoying the benefits too. A combination of mud and sand make the perfect beauty mask. Although the matriarch's skin is extremely thick, as much as 4 centimeters in certain places, it is very sensitive and needs to be looked after. A layer of mud chokes parasites and soothes any irritation. The youngest calf imitates the adult, but doesn't quite get it right. The beauty treatment over, it's time to get back to the serious business of eating. During winter, the nights cool to less than 10 degrees Celsius, and the days reach a warm 25 degrees. The rock fig territory is drying up. Her keen sense of smell can sniff out a predator's trail as old as 3 days. She finds a kill. She quickly goes to work. Her powerful teeth and jaws tear the meat and crush the bones. In one strong move, she skins half the impala carcass. Then she tears off the rest of the skin. Within minutes, more than half the carcass is gone. Nearby, the Timbavati pride made a kill, but not much is left of it. Mother and cubs are finishing the last bits of the small carcass. The cubs are now 6 months old and fully weaned. They are the last to feed. They have to wait for their fathers and aunts to finish first. And with such a small kill, they are left with the scraps. The cubs have developed fighting characters. In a lion family, they have to fight to keep the food they have. As they grow older and stronger, they will be able to stand their own ground among the adults at a kill. The first year of any young animal's existence will shape its entire life. It learns essential skills by watching its parents and playing with its siblings, and develops strong bones and muscles by eating regular meals provided by its mother. It seems easy for a lion cub to get all this when it is surrounded by strong and powerful adults. But every pride has its fortunate years and its bad ones. A pride is a strong family coalition, but the Shebeli youngsters have not seen the benefits. They lost their father when they were very young, and now their mother too. The 3 young males are almost 3 years old. They should be old enough to form a coalition, but they are too immature and inexperienced. But their determination to survive is unstoppable. They know they need to hunt, but they lack the patience and coordination to set up an ambush. The waterbucks spot them immediately. Confused, the brothers try to regroup, but their prey is gone. Without the support of the rest of the pride, the Shebeli male's life is going to be tougher than ever. To survive, they will have to rely on scavenging and learn to hunt small prey. The 2 prides of Timbavati could not be more different. The Shebelis tipping the scales on the side of disaster, and the Timbavati pride weighing in on the side of success. The cubs have a fortunate future ahead of them, with a mother and her sisters to care for them, and 3 powerful males to protect them. In Africa, the most powerful predators are those that live together in a family group. A pride of lions. A clan of hyenas. And a pack of wild dogs. Bound together to survive. Tied to each other by blood.